So we talk about this, me and Rara, about we know how good it was when it was good. What the fuck happened when it was bad, bro? Because this motherfucker's talking about how he took hook shots at practice, how he was just like how he was wilding out. What's going on?
The real story is I got traded because of Raja. That's the real story. So sorry. Okay.
That could be.
I guess there is prescription. We can talk about that. So yeah, I mean, it was good. And then, so Mike D'Antoni left, from one season to the next. I went to New York. And so, we're hearing, okay, now things going to change, getting a new coach. And, we want to, put some emphasis on the defense end and stuff like that. And we're like, okay, that's cool, So pretty much you start, camp. And we're like, okay, so it's cool, everybody wants to win, so we all buying into the program. We want to do that. And so, we put some defensive, ideas. And then offensively, we thought, maybe we can carry over because, you still have the assistant coach from the years previous and stuff like that. So in your mind, it's like, you've been the best offensive team for the past 3 years. You don't want to start from ground zero. So you're just going to carry over. But that's not what happened. Pretty much we changed every single play from what we were doing before. We're using Steve in a whole different way that he used, to be used. We playing with Shaq, which is like also different. We got to play, around him, play with him. But pretty much, a whole philosophy and what people loved the Suns for back in the days, the offensive minded and then moving off the ball and everything. All of that pretty much stopped, from like one day to the next, pretty much, from the one end of the season to the next season. Everybody was like, okay, so now we got to go. I mean, we still, try to go and buy into it and do all this stuff. But offensively, there's no movement. It's hard for everybody. Steve goes from MVP to not making All-Star. That's when that something is wrong, it's like that means we're not playing the right way, that we're not doing, you can make a player not being as good as what he is, by changing all this stuff. So, I hear, and then obviously, Raja was always, is not keeping quiet about this kind of stuff.
Raja's not keeping quiet. Raja wasn't just going along with the plan.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so he's voicing his concerns and stuff like that,
Boris, real quick, feel free to tell any disparaging stories about Raja because he loves to do that shit to you. So go ahead, just do that. If you want to throw that these stories, go ahead as he's doing
but it's it's going. So Raja, getting into it a little bit with the
he's
coach.
Shooting hook shots. He's just out of it. He's not even locked in.
Oh yeah, he's trying some stuff that he never tried before. But anyway, long story short, he's telling me, it's like, yeah, so, a month before maybe the trade and stuff like that, I was like, yeah, so I don't know, I think they're looking to trade me and stuff like that. I was like, oh no, come on, man, that's bullshit. We're going to get through this and stuff like that. And we keep going. And me, I got also, a little bit of fallout with the coach, as far as like what he's asking.
You got some fucking energy in you too? You got some fucking energy in you too, Boris?
No, it was something happening. Sometimes I'm a hard head, and so
tell it.
I remember.
Tell the story. Tell the story.
Of
Boris.
which one? The story of the three of shooting threes.
There was a story in Minnesota. Do you remember that story?
Is that the one I didn't want to shoot threes, or what?
Yeah, it could be the same story. It was the one where you would get all the way to the basket and then
yes,
like go ahead, you tell it. Tell the story.
Tell the story, Boris.
So I don't know. It was like the game before, whatever. And so I don't know. We're in the fourth quarter, maybe 6 minutes to go, whatever. And so I get the ball wide open. I take a three and I miss. And then I don't know. The coach goes off on me. It's like, yeah, don't shoot that kind of shot and stuff like. And then so we go and we talk about it after the game and stuff like that in practice. It was like, what do you mean? Like I'm wide open. Like, how do you want me? It's not a bad shot. Like I'm wide open. If they say, yeah, that's a bad shot, there is like a time and place and stuff like that. And so for me now in my mind, it's like, okay, if you're going to telling me that's a bad shot, then I don't know what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. And so I cannot make the decision anymore because you're taking that away from me. Because for me, if I'm a grown man supposed to be able to know or make actually the decision, what's a good shot, what's a bad shot. So if you're going to telling me that, now I don't know what's a good shot, I don't know what's a bad shot anymore, so I'm not going to take a shot.
Did you feel like your intelligence was insulted, Boris?
Exactly.
Okay.
So the next game, I didn't take one shot. And I was like wide open for layups and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I was a little bit of an asshole.
It was the most passive-aggressive attempt. It was phenomenal.
What would he do?
Someone who's wired like that himself, it was a phenomenal thing to witness, like way more balls than I did. I'd argue with you, but like Boris would literally, during that game, make every attempt. He was in his bag, dog, to get a quality look. So he'd get into like his, he had a great way of angling you to the basket, like some of the best footwork on the post, just angling you until he got his ass like under the rim. And so he would do that and get right to the rim and almost shoot the shit. And it was almost like he would look at Terry Porter like, yeah, bitch, and then kick it out. Like I know he didn't. It just looked like that, right? So like it was a phenomenal display, like because
did you have like 10 assists that night, or like something stupid where you're just like something out of whack, like 16 assists?
So I did that once, just to make a point, and then after that it was like, okay, never mind, you can shoot a few shots. So yeah, it kind of worked a little bit, but so then after that, we're going to LA, which is fun city and stuff like that. I go see my friend Fabrice. We go for lunch. I don't take my phone. I leave my phone in my room, and I'm just going to lunch with my friend. And then I come back from lunch, and usually Raja is a sleeper. He's taking naps and stuff like that. And so I walk through the hallway.
He's not giving a shit.
I walked through the hallway and I see Raja walking around. And I was like, hey, what's up? I was like, Boris, you haven't heard? And I was like, no. What? I don't have my phone. It was like, what happened? It was like, yeah, so I got traded. I was like, oh no, man, fuck, that sucks, losing my friend and stuff. I was like, oh shit, where are you going? He was like, yeah, I'm going to Charlotte. I was like, sorry, man. He was like, yeah, but I think you're part of the trade too.
You're coming with me. You're fucking coming with me.
That's how I learned I was traded. I was like, what? It was like, yeah, maybe go check your phone. So Raja was really nice about it. It wasn't like, hey, you got traded, asshole. It was like, I think you're part of it. Maybe go check it.
Misery loves company, bro. I'm like, Boris, I got to go to Charlotte.
How'd you feel?
But you're coming with me, dog.
How did you feel when you got traded? Were you like...
Well, I mean, it's never fun to be trading and stuff like that. But, we were saying, it was like, yeah, shit, at least we're going together. It's not as, bad as being traded by yourself and you go to a new place by yourself. So we're like, okay, let's go. Let's try to find a flight, go back to Phoenix, and then the next morning back to Charlotte. And then
did it make it a little bit better?
Try to make the best out of it.
Did it make you feel a little bit better, Rah-Rah, that Boo Boo was there with you? That he was just there to fucking like that of all the teammates to get traded with, he was the one that you got traded with.
Yeah, oh yeah, like I didn't wish anyone, like we had a great vibe, and I was getting a little sour, but I thought we should have been able to recapture that, and they kind of wound up recapturing it after they went back to Alvin Gentry, right? So yeah, I tend to think that if we would have stayed, it would have all been good, but so I didn't want Boris or anyone else to lose out on that opportunity because it was so fun there, but. I'm going to keep it a buck. Like when you get traded, to the point Boris just said, you don't know anything where you're going, right?
Right.
And to be able to sit on the plane and see Boris sitting there, like when we're on Charlotte planes, like we sat together, like it was comforting, bro, because, not only was it a new situation, but we had some great teammates in Charlotte, but they weren't a great team yet. They were still trying to figure out where they were going, how they were going to, ascend the ladder of the Eastern Conference. And so, we were leaving a really good situation to come to something that wasn't established. So it was very cool to have somebody with you.